I just wanted to say some people in their 30s on a Thursday night like go out to eat, maybe see a movie, do something fun, and we are building a castle out of cardboard for our cats.
Where did John go?
He's, I think, on the floor over there because
time?
both the cats are like staring at something.
Oh, I'm so tired. I just play with the cats. They have so much more energy than I do.
His feet are in the video.
Oh, no, we don't need that. Not for free.
They're socked, it's fine.
The dogs are in.
Anyway, I'll show you guys this tower when it's done. Also, I guess, welcome to this new vlog. I'm also doing intros later. So, you know, fun things. Look at how hard she's concentrating.
Because I'm trying to cut myself.
Yeah, notice how she was smart enough not to trust me with the X-Acto knife?
That was never an option.
Alright, well, first of all, I have buddies. You guys helping? Are you helping? Second of all, I'm preparing for intros. Alright, so I've got the little green cage scrubbed down with vinegar and Dawn dish soap. It's now soaking with the vinegar and Dawn dish soap so that I can make sure that the smell is gone. That's my goal, is to make sure that this has nobody's smell in it. And this is a pretty neutral cage. Albert's never been in it. The babies have only been in it during intros, but I did scrub it. I might give another go because, like, I can't take the bars off this cage because it's really jankily made, and if I take the top off of the bottom, getting it back together is damn near impossible. So, like, I do have to scrub it to get all the, yeah? Hey, Dax, I have another buddy. To get all the, like, crevices cleaned. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do in just a second. And we'll be starting intros tomorrow. I'll show you when the cage is done. I'll probably combine that clip with the clip of our little cat tower we're making, the really janky cardboard mess that it is, just because it's funny, and we didn't finish it last night. We're gonna finish it today. And my buddies, we have Betty, we have August, we have, thank you, we have Dax. Oh, I'm sorry, I got her ear. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, okay, they really hate when you get their ear. I'm sorry, baby. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that. Oh, big yawn. Pretty baby. So yeah, that's this clip. All right, I know what you're thinking. Sarah, I thought this was supposed to be an intro with the Grabies. Why are the babies here? And that's because Thistle and Kelpie immediately went for him, and he got really scared, and I gave it like 5, like I broke it up. Nothing bad happened. They were just like immediately very, very mean to him. And I broke it up when I realized that, like, they kept trying to start fights with him, and I gave it like a 10 minutes and they just kept trying to start fights with him, and I could tell that it was just a no-go. They just will not accept another rat, which does put me in an awkward position with them in the future, but for the time being, I want to get Albert in with somebody, so I'm trying the babies. And it's only been a few minutes, and he's still very agitated. Like, he got really scared because he was so excited to meet them, and they were mean to him, and he was just, like, so happy to meet them because he's been alone, and he just wanted friends, and they, like, really scared him. So he's really scared. It's okay, Albie. And, like, these girls haven't really reacted much to him. Like, they're not acting like anything's happening. So if this goes well, the only one I was, like, mildly worried about is Jelly, because I think she's in heat, so she might be a little irritable, and he's, like, scared. So until he calms down, I'm gonna keep them together, even if, like, something mild breaks out. As long as it's nothing serious, I will just, like, break it up and try to let them, like, figure each other out, because, like, so far they just do not care. They're just like, oh, hello, and they're just, like, chilling with him, so that's good. Poor Albie. My poor Albie boy. Oh. And so he's so scared. Oh god, they're just mean. I love Thistle and Kelpie to death, but they're just difficult rats, and seeing this is just breaking my heart because, like, he was so excited. I don't think he's really been attacked before because, like, he's so scared. Oh, it's okay, baby. They're okay. And these girls are pretty active, so, like, he's probably nervous about that as well. So if this works out, they will eventually go into this cage for the next 3 weeks until cage cleaning day. And then, oh, she's doing some sniffs. She did some sniffs. And then I will move them into this cage. And this does mean, unfortunately, that my rolling group with Thistle and Kelpie, which goes back to my rats, Willow and Welsie, will be over because they just will not accept anybody else. But hopefully this intro isn't too bad. It's cage cleaning day, and I'm like way behind because I've just been sitting here watching them because I get nervous. Although I will say, like, I wasn't as nervous with these guys as I was with Thistle and Kelpie. They were just giant angry poof balls, and Albert's very scared, so he's slightly poofy. But like these girls haven't, like, they're sniffing him and they're touching him, and he's like very nervous, but they're not. They're taking their time with him. So this is the first like real, hopefully real intro I'm going to be doing with them. I'm a little nervous because Jelly has a tendency to chew when she's unhappy or excited. So I really don't want to lose this cage because I don't know if I could find one of a similar size. So I'm really hoping that she does not ruin it. But, you know, oh, he's sniffing her. Yeah, she's not so bad, Albie. I know you were so excited, but they can love you. This is always what happens with my boys, and it like bums me out so much. Is like I put the boys in with the girls, and the boys get so excited because they're like new friends and they're girls. I'm so happy, and then one of the girls attacks them because I always like get boys from my mean girls, and I need to stop doing that. It never works out for the boys. And then like they attack him, and he gets so sad and like stressed out, and it's like. Oh, it just breaks my heart. But yeah, we're gonna see how these guys do. I'm gonna be cage cleaning without my music because I need to be able to hear them, and that's gonna be brutal for me. I love listening to music obnoxiously loud while I'm cleaning cages. But I'm gonna put Spyro on because one of my Let's Players has been playing Spyro, and I adore Spyro. I grew up with that game, so I'm gonna put that on. I'm going to keep an eye on them. But so far, it's been like 10 minutes. And yeah, they don't really seem to care much about him. Not in a bad way, just in a, oh, okay, this is our new friend kind of way. I would love to see someone groom him. Because he's been really missing out on the rat experience these last, like, probably like a month or two. So, like, I'm going to slide this over. Because they can pull this down from the inside. So I keep it locked like that, too. And we're just gonna, oh, are you relaxing me a little bit, baby? Oh, I feel so bad for him. Oh my god. But hopefully, you know, there's a chance this will be a pretty quick intro. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Please don't screw me over, girls. But yeah, and he's like 2.5 weeks post-neuter, so he is sterile now, so no babies. No babies. Alright, it's been about an hour and a half. We're still going, but things have developed and not necessarily in the way that we were all hoping. So I have cleaned the dwarf cage, which is awesome. I have the Grabies cage, and then the trio cage, or maybe possibly it'll become the quad cage, but like, we'll see. So basically what happened is it was going pretty well. Yeah. It was going pretty well. The girls were perfectly fine with him. They had no problem with him. But he decided to start acting obnoxious, which you can kind of see here just in Clark's reaction is like they were perfectly fine. And then he started power grooming and pinning them constantly. It was like relentless, one after the other. And then he really focused in on Clark and he just kept pinning her. And at some point I was like, okay, someone's going to tell him off. Someone needs to tell him off, and I'm just going to let that happen. And Clark did. She told him off, and he got his feelings hurt, and now all three girls are just, like, rejecting him pretty hard, and his feelings are hurt, but he's also being just, like, a little bit nasty, which surprises me, because these are girls, and the rescue said that he was super chill, super neutral, and I don't know what rats she tried him with, but he's not doing amazing with my girls because they are not happy with him. And so I'm going to let it play out. We'll see. It's currently looking like they're not going to get out of this cage today. They're going to stay in the green one, or I'm going to have to break up intros. And that's looking like those are the only two options at the moment. But we'll see, because once Clark told him off, he did calm down. He's still being a little bit of a bully, but he did calm down a little bit. So we'll see if we can get to a point where they're cuddling. Clark wasn't mean about it, but she did tell him pretty definitively, I'm done with this, you need to knock it off. And he's like, keeps going over them and they keep pushing him away, and he's like, you know, he doesn't understand what's happening, but it's like, oh, you can't be an ass and then get upset when everyone's like, I don't want to hang out with you, you're an ass. So we'll see what happens, but the girls are all now stressed in a way they weren't before, and he is still just pestering them. So, if I do have to break up this intro, what I'm probably going to do is make him be alone for another 3 weeks, because he's 2.5 weeks post neuter. So like, while it sounds mean, oh, you're gonna make him be alone for another 3 weeks. Well, he still has all those male hormones running through him, and like, he wasn't aggressive before his neuter, but these behaviors are driven, at least in part, by hormones. So I could just wait 3 weeks, because it'll be it takes a minimum of 6 weeks for the male hormones to calm down, and then try him again with these girls. And if that doesn't work, I'd wait another 3 weeks and then try him with the quad and Suitor if she's still around. I am hesitant to do that just because these girls were so patient with him. They were so incredibly patient. They put up with like nearly an hour of his bullshit before Clark told him off. Blooper will not do that. Blooper will tell him off a lot sooner, and I feel like Gumshoe will put him in his place pretty hard as well. And I will not let him treat Suitor the way he's been treating these girls, because she's just so old that she deserves better. But we're gonna see how this plays out. Yeah, even if intros don't work out today, I do have other options. Again, I'll wait. I'll try him with these girls again. I'll try him with another group. I will not get him new companions. If it comes down to it, it just does not make sense to me. If he doesn't work out with any of my rats, it does not make sense to me to try him with new rats. So I will not do that. I will just make it work with some of my girls, and if it's looking like it absolutely 1,000% will not work, I will talk to the rescue and we will figure something out. I'm not saying I'll give him up, because I do love him and he's my baby boy, but I will figure something out that does not involve me having to get yet more rats for a difficult rat. I have no idea how I keep managing to get the difficult ones. But yeah, I'm a little frustrated, but again, it's so soon after his neuter that it could just be that he needs his hormones to calm down. So like, we're looking at least a few more months before I have to really figure something out with him. But yeah, let's hope that these guys will figure it out. All right. So he just wouldn't stop. Basically, every single time he was around Clark, he started to pin her and power groom her and stress her out, and he would hold her down for like a long time, like over a minute. And then she would tell him off, and he would go back and he would do it again. And I just decided that to break them up for right now. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for the next 3 weeks, do neutral space intros after their free roam. So I'm going to move him in here, just so Cappy can have her room back. And I'm going to free roam the 4 of them on my bed together, and hopefully that will help. It's unfortunate because I could tell he really did want to be friends with them, but he was also just obnoxious. He would not. They were so patient. They did nothing wrong. These girls actually did nothing wrong. They were following intro rules really well, and they were willing to cuddle him, but he would not relent. He would just not stop. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I will do neutral space intros with them for the next 3 weeks, and then come back and do normal carrier method intros again, and hopefully that will work. But yeah, he was just a little too much for them, and I don't even think necessarily he was doing anything wrong. I think he was just really excited, and I think he's got some male hormones still that need to die down, and I think that he just, I feel bad because he's alone, but he blew it. He blew it. So I've cleaned the Gravy's cage. I just got to do the baby cage now. And then I'll move him in here, and I'll do a spot clean on his cage, and we'll go from there. But yeah, you blew it, Alb. You blew it. And we'll go from there. Because I did have to break it up because he was stressing Clark out so much, and she was being so polite. She was being so patient. But I could tell that, the tension was just getting worse and worse and ramping up and up and up. And I just didn't feel comfortable leaving, because it got to a point where I didn't feel comfortable leaving the room. And you're going to cheer on that, buddy? And I just don't think that's good. So I am going to try again. I will figure this out. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. I don't think this is impossible. He's nowhere near as bad as the Gravies or some of the girls I've had. Good? You good? They're just little bit of stress relief, I think, now that they're away from him. But, yeah, this... I'm sorry, Albie. I'm sorry. We'll try again in a little bit, okay? Okay, we'll try again later. My God. Alright, Albert, Albie.
Oh, we're
Albie.
losing him. We're losing him.
Albie.
We're losing him. We're losing him.
Alright, I'm trying some neutral space intros with the Gravies and Albert. Thistle's not really happy about it. You can see she's fluffing up a little bit, but that's nothing to be worried about yet. Weaver's running. I assume that's Weaver. It sounds like Weaver. But yeah. Oh, everyone says congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay. Don't be mean to him now. I don't like you sniffing his eyeballs.
Hey, you get over here. Stop. Stop.
She's getting very fluffy.
It's okay.
I'm gonna move you over here, even though... Okay, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, Mama's here. Nothing too bad so far, other than... I just didn't like her being that close to him and that fluffy. Hi, baby. Hi.
Guys, hey, I'm actively allergic to you.
But yeah, I'll just do some clips over the next 3 weeks of Albert.
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 I already have a rat. We're trying to get off the edge of the bed.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm ending the clip. I'll see you guys next time. Sorry for my air purifier. I can't be bothered to turn it off at the moment. So we're doing this again. Where we're at right now is kind of interesting. Sorry, that made me nervous a little bit. Let's see what happens here. So what's been happening, I've only been at it for about 10 minutes. So what's been happening is Albert is trying to be big boss man again. And they're not having it. Kelpie just keeps shoving him. She'll submit for a second and then she'll get up and she'll shove him. Not in a necessarily mean way. And then Thistle has been trying to start shit with him. And every time she does, Kelpie slides between them. Which is like more what I would expect from Kelpie. Hold on. He's gonna try and... Okay. Okay. From based on like her intro with Baker. But like, see, he keeps... Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm gonna drop this phone like nobody's fucking business if a fight breaks out. But like, he's holding her down. And then she's done, so she moves away. So, like, that's not too bad so far, but the thing is, if he continues doing this the way he did with the others, like, okay, that's Thistle who was touching him just now. This is very tense. Like, this is very tense at the moment. If he keeps trying to dominate them the way he did the babies, Thistle will not have that, okay? She's a little puffy. She was way puffier earlier, so was Kelpie, but, like, nothing too bad at the moment. They are touching. They're moving around each other. Albert. I'm gonna drop this phone like nobody's fucking business. And you might be thinking, well, they're just sitting next to each other. What's the problem? And the problem is I know these... Oh, she's getting puffy. She's getting puffy. I can feel the tension from them, and I know he's gonna try and push her down. And I know she's not gonna... See, she's okay with this. Kelpie's okay with this. No poofiness from Kelpie. She's okay with this. Okay. Good boy. Oh, she's telling you to stop now? Are you please listen. Back off, buddy. She's getting puffy now. Oh my God. See, he just doesn't stop. He doesn't take the signal to stop. And that is the problem. Because it's not even like beginning interesting. It's like I had them together. I had him and the babies together for like 4 hours last time. And he just never relented. So we'll see. It's not as disastrous as I was worried it was going to be. But it really depends on Thistle at this point. Because Kelpie seems like she's willing to work with him. But Thistle, as of right this second, I don't know if she is. Kelpie's a little puffy right now. She irritated him. Or he irritated her, sorry. He hasn't shown any puffiness. He just doesn't want to be like... He wants to be alpha. And the thing is, Albert. Oh my God. And the thing is, he doesn't understand signals. My God. And Thistle is stress boggling. I can hear it. Oh my God. He's gonna piss them off. That's what. Oh my God. See, now Kelpie is like, I don't know if I want to deal with you, actually. And some of this is definitely that he just wants companionship, which is fine, but he needs to learn to back off, and these may not be the girls to teach him because they are very difficult intros. Like, oh, her stress boggles. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna watch them for a little bit longer. Oh. Okay. See, that's her telling him, you need to back the fuck off. Okay, I'm putting the phone down. This is getting tense. Alright, so, guess what happened? I discussed it a little bit the last time I did intros, like 2 weeks ago. It'll have been just a few minutes ago for you in the vlog. But I don't remember what I said, so we're just kind of gonna go over everything again. I did try to talk about this while they were still in intros, but, like, it was right after I had to break them up, and I was pretty upset, because it's just, like, I was frustrated, and, like, I'm really sick of Albert being alone. It's really stressful for him, and it's really stressful for me, and I just want him to have companions, because he's supposed to have companions, and I'm frustrated with the situation, and I was upset because of that, because I just want him to be happy and have everything he needs, and he doesn't right now. So anyway, let's discuss what happened. Let's discuss the issues. So, as a recap, again, you'll have just seen this, but I'm going over it again. The first time I tried him with Kelpie and Thistle, they were immediately like, no, and they tried to fight him, and I had to break it up. So then I tried him with the baby trio, and that one started out looking more hopeful, but then I started noticing Albert's pattern. So what that means is, like, he singled out Clark, and I think it's because Clark is the most dominant of that group. He really didn't mess with Hera at all, who's the least dominant, and he only messed with Jelly a little bit, who was, like, in between them. So Clark is the alpha of that group, and he singled her out, and he would go up to her, and he would pin her, and he'd hold her down until she was desperate to get up, and then he wouldn't let her up. She'd have to, like, squeeze out from underneath him, and then he'd still be trying to hold her down. And if he only did this once or twice, or let her go when she squeezed out from under him, that wouldn't have necessarily been an issue. But the second she'd get out from under him, he would go to pin her again, and he would just keep doing that. And they were together for like 3 hours, maybe 3-4 hours, and he just kept doing that over and over and over again until it got to the point where I was just like, I have to break them up. Because she did actually scratch him. I didn't realize it at first, but the next day I felt the scab on his neck where she kept putting her foot, because she kept, like, wrapping one of her back legs around his neck to try and push him away. And one of the times she told him off, she must have just scratched him. So he actually did get injured during those intros, and he still didn't relent. So that was definitely, it was a fight in the making when I broke it up, but, like, her telling him off already caused some sorry, Hera just jumped down. She has something in her mouth. It's really cute. It already caused some issues. So, I broke them up. And then what happened during this intro, and the thing is, the baby trio had so much patience for him. Again, this was happening for 3 hours. And even when Clark would snap at him, he'd back off for like 10 minutes, and then he'd go right back to doing this until she snapped at him again, and the time between her snapping at him was getting shorter and shorter because he would not relent. He would not stop. So that's what happened there. And then today, when I had him in with Kelpie and Thistle, he started trying to do that again. Not to the same extent. He never actually got either of them pinned, except for once Kelpie, who, like, he was trying to pin her, and she, like, resisted, and then she, like, rolled over herself and allowed him 2 seconds. She gave him 2 seconds, and she was up. But basically what's happening is he would go over, and he'd start power grooming the top of Kelpie's head. And she was pretty patient with that. She was really open to meeting him this time. Thistle less so, but more open than she was before. what I found interesting this time, and I don't know how much of it, because like the bars are really hard to see through, so I don't know how much of it you guys could see in that little clip I did. Kelpie was willing to play mediator between him and Thistle, but Thistle was also willing to play mediator between him and Kelpie, because at least once she slid between them when Kelpie started getting irritated, and she's like, nope, okay, we're calming down, we're not going to do this, and I thought that was really interesting. But the problem is, the second that happened, Albert was just like, all right, it's time for me to show that I'm big boss man, I'm alpha. And he needs to not do that with them specifically, because they are not the rats to do that with. Baker worked with them because he never tried to dominate them. He was perfectly fine with letting Thistle be alpha. He was perfectly fine letting her bully him. He was quite happy to not be in charge. And Albert wants to be in charge. And the problem is he does not take their signals when they're just like, all right, we're good. You can be in charge. He does not listen to that. That's what's happening with the trio. He was not listening to them saying, okay, we're good. You're in charge. We can stop this now. We're not fighting you. He kept doing it over and over and over again. He kept asserting himself. And he was trying to do that with Kelpie and Thistle. And it was mostly like he was pushing the boundaries. That's what it felt like. He was pushing his boundaries with them to see how far they'd let him go. And I knew from what happened with the trio that there was a good chance he was not going to stop doing that until they got into a fight. So what he was doing was he was kind of mashing Kelpie into a corner in a way that wasn't aggressive. He wasn't puffy. He wasn't sidling. He just kept pushing her into a corner and like laying on her and like crawling under her and power grooming her head. And again, at first she was like, okay, I'll put up with this. Thistle was not amenable to it at all. Every time he went over to her, she would be like, no. And the thing is, they were telling him to stop. They were shoving him away. Like when they got tired or they weren't interested, they kept shoving him away. And then he kept coming back. And Thistle pretty much at some point, it was about to be a fight, and Kelpie slid between them. Like I was prepared to pick up the cage and like not drop it, but like just like this, drop it this much just to like distract them so Thistle didn't hurt him. Because like I don't actually believe Albert would win a fight against Thistle or Kelpie. He does not have the anger that they have, because he wasn't puffy during this whole thing. And then what happened essentially is he pushed it too far with Kelpie, and she whipped around and she pinned him and she started kicking him with her back feet. And she was not listening to me hitting the bar. She was not listening to me yelling at her. I even reached in and I poked her side, which don't do. Do as I say, not as I do. That's a dumb thing to do. She didn't pay attention. And at some point I got her to like move off him. And as far as I can see, he's not hurt, but he has really thick fur. So I'm going to have to like give him a closer exam tomorrow when any injuries he might have will be scabby and I can feel them. But yeah, so that's where we're at, is like I broke them up because Albert once again pushed it until it was a fight. And that is my concern here, is that he keeps pushing until it turns into a fight. It's not like with Clark, she kept letting him pin her, and she let him keep her pinned for like a long time before she's like, I need up. I need this to be done. I need up. And then he would come back and do it again, and that is the concern, is that he won't stop until it's a fight, which I think is hormonal. I think that's a hormonal issue, even though he's 5 weeks post-neuter. Again, it's a minimum of 6 weeks before their hormones calm down. But I might talk to someone who is a little bit more familiar with male rats, because male rats take hierarchy a lot more seriously than female rats, and someone who has a lot more familiarity with neutered male rats, to see if she thinks that this is an issue that will go away once his hormones calm down. Now, I am not giving up on him. I'm going to give it about 2 more weeks, and then I think I'm going to try him with the quad and Suitor. I'm nervous to do that, because if he bullies Suitor, I'm going to stop everything immediately. I'm not going to let him bully Suitor. She's too old for that. But Blooper is a really good alpha, and she has a lot of patience, especially for this kind of behavior. And the quad are very friendly, at least when I did intros with them. It's admittedly been almost a year since I did intros with them. But when I did do intros with them, they were very sweet, they were very calm, they were very patient. And I think Blooper might have what it takes to put him in his place and keep him in his place. The worry is that the thing is, the quad are very sweet, they're very patient, but they are not afraid to throw down. They get into like little squabbles fairly frequently. It's nothing to be concerned about if you have rats. you kind of know. Sometimes they just get into a little squabble. You let it play out. Sometimes you have a screamer and they're just being loud. You just kind of let it play out, and then they're going to go back to normal, like, within minutes after the squabble. And that happens with Quad fairly often, and Suitor. It's all 5 of them. So, like, if he pisses one of them off, they're going to put him in his place pretty hard. And if he keeps pushing them, it will be a fight. Like, I don't have... The only rats in my care that I feel like might not turn it into a fight are maybe Doyle and Weaver, because they have bomb-proof temperaments. But it's like, I don't want to pull them from the dwarfs, and I'm not going to try him with the dwarfs. This, Mystic will turn it into a fight for sure. Glitch is too gentle. Lois is in the best health. She has lung scarring. Scylla is disabled, and Aggie also has an attitude. So it's like, I'm just not willing to pull Doyle and Weaver from them, and I'm not willing to try him with all of them, because I do also feel like there's a chance that Doyle will take protecting the dwarfs very seriously. It's also what I'm concerned about. Like, if he goes after Suitor, I'm worried, because, like, that group of 5, they're bonded. Not all rats you put together are going to be bonded, but they are bonded tightly. They love each other so, so much. And I do worry that if he pushes it, someone's going to get protective and hurt him. So, like, I do have options to try still. I'm not giving up on him. I'll just keep trying and trying and trying. And some of you might be wondering, like, what are my options if nothing works? If literally nothing works, and I'll give him so much grace. It can take a long time for the hormones to calm down post-neuter. I will give him so much grace. And if it's looking like I have literally no other choice, my first option would be to send him back to the rescue, not permanently, but for them to try him with their rats just to get him a companion. And then I'll take him and whatever rat they have. So, with all that being said, I'm not giving up on him. I'm going to keep trying. I will put him in intros again and again and again. I will try. The rescue tried neutral space with him, and they said that he's really good at that. But the problem is and I tried neutral space with the Gravies several times, and he was fine with them. The problem is, if he's fine in neutral space, but then I put him in a cage environment and he acts like this, then he's not actually fine in neutral space. He's just on his best behavior in neutral space. So, like, I'm going to keep trying. I'm not going to give up on him. I will try him with all the groups I have. I will try, if I end up with new rats and he's still alone, I'll try him with them. And, he's my baby, and I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. So anyway, that's almost certainly the end of this vlog. Yeah. What's with me and getting rats like this? Why is this always constantly happening to me? Anyway, that's the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. All the fun stuff down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!